All right, without any further ado, I'm going to ask Ms. Andrea Kelly, the General Manager of the JCSD and JCSD Trustee Services, to do the welcome for us. She didn't even give me a chance to introduce her properly, but it's all right, Andrea, you can come and do the welcome for us. Put your hands together for Andrea, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Master of Ceremony, Mr. Neville Ellis, Marketing Manager, Jamaica Stock Exchange. Ms. Shellyan Morgan, Guest Speaker. Mrs. Alfie Mullins Atkins, President, Junior Achievement, Jamaica. Ms. Simone Townsend, Program Manager, Junior Achievement, Jamaica. Ms. Melanie Williams, Financial Inclusion Specialist, Bank of Jamaica. Mr. Oliver Irons, Teacher, Jamaica College. Members of the Jamaica Stock Exchange team, teachers, students, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a warm good afternoon. Welcome to the Jamaica Stock Exchange Youth Forum for our National Investor Week. At the Jamaica Stock Exchange, we believe in empowering all investors, whether they are young, middle-aged, or old, to achieve financial freedom. The National Investor Week was designed with that in mind. It gives me great pleasure to speak with you today, our young investors, who are the future investors and builders of the economy, on the significance of early savings and investments. Let me begin by differentiating the difference between savings and investments. Savings is putting aside money that you don't spend now for emergency or future spending. Whilst investment is buying stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or real estate with the expectation that your investment will make money for you. What is early savings and investments? Is it determined by your age or the date of your first employment? In my opinion, savings start from very early in a child's life. A gift of cash for a child's first birthday, pocket money, Christmas gifts. These small cash savings have borne many billionaires. How many of you are familiar with the name Warren Buffett? Anybody? Good. Mr. Buffett started his business at age 6. Can you imagine age 6? That's the age most of us would start on primary school. He bought a 6-pack of Coke for 25 cents and sold it back for $1. How much earnings was that for Mr. Buffett? Can anybody say? That's over 200%. Yes. He also sold magazines and gums from door to door. Today, Mr. Buffett's net worth is over $80.5 billion US. The best trait for a good saver is to know how to put aside a little at every opportunity. Sometimes this will require some amount of creativity. If you are like my daughter, you will save everything, even money, and spend your parents' money. As you're aware, most of your parents are working from home because of COVID. When I work from home during the days and ask my daughter for assistance, she will let me know that for every day she assists me, it's a cost of $300. It might be rough on my pocket. However, this gives me a clear vision of what her future will be like. These small savings are what you will turn into investments. These investments will turn you into a billionaire, the Jamaican Bill Gates story. Let me share investor who purchased 1,000 units of the NCB shares 10 years ago. At that time, the price was $19.32 per unit. And that investor would have paid $19,320. Today, that investment is valued at over $130,900, a net profit of over 577%. As of December 31st, before the onset of the COVID and the impact on the prices on the stock exchange, the net worth would have been over $196,640. The investor's only action was to decide to invest 10 years ago. You can sit and watch as your money grow. That is what investment is about. Your money will work for you. As a saver or investor, you need to understand the value of money. Understand the time value of money. $1 today does not have the same value tomorrow. Your small savings that you convert to investments will allow you to purchase your dream home, car, or house, or even pay your university tuition. I see David here in the audience who can attest to that. The key is to start early. There is no time like the present to start putting aside small amounts each day and let your money work for you. The money you use to purchase an expensive phone today could be the equivalent of your university fee 10 or 15 years from today, if invested wisely. Another key element of starting early is that you develop a discipline. That is what creates billionaires. You learn to put aside each day and know whatever it is that you earn or whatever is gifted to you, that a portion is for your savings, for your future investments. I hope that one day, 20 years from now perhaps, someone here today will remember this conversation and say, that was a turning point in my life. Happy investing. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And I can attest to the children want to save their money and use our money as parents. You know, the children are so astute today. And I heard when you mentioned that they were applauding. Can you believe it? This is something else. But what I want to say to young people, start saving early, and you will be able to reap the rewards later. I have heard a story in St. Elizabeth. He took his lunch money and he invested on a particular company. And before you know it, his portfolio was looking so well. You know, it was amazing. He had more than lunch money to take care of himself. So start from early, start your savings, start your investments. And Ms. Kelly had said it very well, in that, you know, when you start young, then you can become even billionaires. And Jamaica needs some more billionaires to have some businesses going, to employ more people. All right, so let us put our hands together for Ms. Kelly again. Thank you very much. All right, we have some presentations. I have a co-host this afternoon, Ms. Charlene Steer. She will be coming forward to do the presentations for the Teen Summer Game. We have a Teen Summer Game. We realize that, look here, during the summer, persons, the teenagers may not have a lot to do. It's not always at the point where persons can get something to do for the summer. So we said at the stock exchange we want to engage the teenagers to ensure that they don't get themselves into mischief, all right? Because they said the devil find work for idle hands, and we don't want any idle hands. So we have developed the teen summer games. We have the stock market game for high school, which we launched in 2008. It's a virtual game where we give students 100,000 virtual money, not 100,000 raw cash. No, it's virtual money for them to trade. And at the end of then we look at their portfolio and see who would come up to be the winner. And we have the other version of that for the teachers. And now we have the public game, and we have developed the teen summer game. So the stock exchange, we are always looking to improve and to make sure that the competition is doing well. So I'm going to be asking Ms. Charlene Steer to come forward and to announce the winners of the teen summer game. And I know that those who enter the stock market game for high school are looking very much forward to be able to get their prize also. But that's coming up shortly. All right, Ms. Steer, your time.
Thank you, sir. I want us to make sure that remember online audience who are participating, and before I go on, I have a prize for the first person who will provide me with the correct answer to my question, and the answer is my answer. And while we're doing this presentation, you can type in your answer and put away where we can contact you, because even though we have COVID social distancing, the post still works. Here's the question: what do teenagers have than anyone else? What is it that teenagers have than any other group of persons? End of this, please type in your answers. This is a question for persons watching online, and we'll make sure you get an excellent prize for taking the time out to be with us. So the question again: what do teenagers have than any other group of individuals or persons? Every parent should know that. All right, now I want a champ hum. What do we say for the teenagers? Hooray, ha, come on, give me some sound, make some noise. Come on. Oh, yes, let's begin up for the teenagers. As mentioned before, our most important group are teenagers. Yes, we love our babies, we love our toddlers, but the teenage years is a very interesting period. And God is especially good to us. We have many games, and all the games have different criteria. For example, the high school game. Schools have 1,600 students, but only 4 persons can represent their school. But with the teen game, if you're not able to be in those games, this provides a wonderful opportunity for you to learn how to make money online without any financial cost to yourself. No restrictions except that you're in no other game. So we are very proud of the teenagers who had to take the time, because it will definitely impact on your financial wellness in the future. I want to congratulate all the persons who participate, and particularly those who are able to excel. And we have selected 5 top winners. And if you're into numbers, we know that 5 is a number of favor. Anyone knew that 5 was a number for favor? Well, you learned something new. 5 is recognized as a number that means favor. And so we have 5 top positions, but in fact, there have been duplications. So again, that reason, I believe, why we have more than 5 awardees is that God factor that teenagers have, and the first person to type in the correct answer in line will receive an Jamaica Stock Exchange Award with our logo on it. All right? Now to mention the winners, I will mention their names. They're not presently on location. And so the trophies, the first 3 will get trophies and cash. The other certificate and cash awards. And I mean, cash is the money that talks at the end of the day. And so I start for the 5th place winner. 2 persons who placed in 5th position. Each game became 2 games. Can you imagine that? I think if you trace it, there's a teenager there somewhere. And the 2 persons, they took 100,000 of virtual dollars and earned $10,000 on that. And that's good because they had 10,000 more than which they started with. And as our general manager told us, somebody took 19,000, which is worth 200,000 today. So they can take that same $10,000 in real life and in 2 years, 5, 10 years, turn that into 100. Trashana, that's the name used online for placing 5th in the teenage game. The other person is Chan Miller from Hillel Academy. We congratulate Chan Miller. He made $15,704 on top of the 100,000 virtual cash. Let's give a round of applause for the 5th place winners. We must be able to be happy for those who are doing well. To 4th place, we have 1 person, and that's Alison Sutherland from Westwood High School. Sutherland. She earned $12,506.89, and that's because that is a separate game. In 3rd place, we have Zachary Morgan from Woolmer's Boys. Let's give it up for Zachary Morgan. I hope you're watching, Zachary. And you earn an extra $17,463 on that virtual 100,000. It means if you do it with virtual money, you can do it with real money. And I hope that your parents will support you, that you continue to trade online with real money. Slow and steady wins. I've learned that. So as our general manager said again, put a little away, a little at a time. Sometimes because we want to get that lump sum, we miss many opportunities. But slow and steady wins. Now, for the top 2 positions, in 2nd place, we have 2 persons competing. And as mentioned, there were 2 competitions side by side, but we decided to recognize both games. So no one should be disheartened when they saw their score and they can see their position on the ladder and they're not mentioned. And so we have 2 2nd place winners. And the 2nd place is Joel Lamb from Camperdown High. And he earned, I'm not going to call these figures on Joel because I think I need to relook at those stats. But the other 2nd place winner with Joel Lamb is Omar Francis. Omar Francis, he made $125,847 in total. So his markup was $27,847. Let us clap Omar from Denby High. Well done, Denby. Well done, Denby. I hope he will encourage his other schoolmates to get involved in the market. You can't be too young. If you're under 18 years of age, you just need your parents to be on that registration, but you're not too young to start. As we learned, one of the richest men in today, and at times Forbes said Warren Buffett is the richest, he started at age 6. So you're not too young to learn how to make money a little at a time, and everything is online. You can even teach your own parents. Amen. Now we had a clear winner. This person actually competed in both games simultaneously, and they were able to do very well in both games. So we have a clear 1st place winner. And again, Woolmer's is name, Woolmer's High. We have Abigail Higgins. Abigail Higgins is the winner of the team summer game. Let's cheer it up for Abigail. And she made a 50% increase on the funds she got. Abigail has a total in her portfolio of $151,749.79. Well done, Abigail. Well done for your discipline. And please do not pause here with your trophy and award. Let it be an inspiration that you can earn money and earn good money to take care of yourself, your family, and do the things you want to do to enjoy life. Thank you again, and I turn back to the moderator. Thank you for your time. Oh, sorry, let me tell you, Addison.
I guess someone whispered in my ear, the answer to the question, what do teenagers have that no other group has? And that's energy. Anyone guessed it here? I should have asked. Anyone guessed it? Anyone disagree? No, right, energy. Teenagers have energy, and so you saw them in multiple games. Well done to our teenagers and anyone who got that answer correct. Thank you.
Boy, she said teenagers have energy, and that is so true. But the little toddlers have a lot of energy too, so I don't know which would be the other. All right, thank you very much, Ms. Tier, for announcing the winners for summer games. Put your hands together for all the winners. And we have seen where they have used the virtual money to, really increase their portfolio. And that is very good. The stock exchange want as many persons as possible to enter the games, and so that we can have more persons learning about how to buy and sell shares. All right, we have online Ms. Melanie Williams, Financial Inclusion Specialist at the BOJ, to speak about financial inclusion for Jamaicans. And that is so important. Melanie is driving this process to ensure that all Jamaicans can be involved in the economy, and that the economy works for all and nobody is left out. All right, do we have her?
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. I'm hoping that everyone can hear me.
While we wait a little bit, the next presentation that we'll have is the Junior Achievement Stock Market Game, which Ms. Tay will take over right after we have her. No?
Yes, you should have me, I think.
She's there?
Yes, I should be here.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my congrats to the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Can we?
I'm hoping you can hear me now.
Can we get a sound that we can also hear also?
Yeah. You can hear me. Okay, great. I'm getting a message from Mrs. Mullings-Aiken. Okay. I'm hoping I see you, Mrs. Mullings-Aiken. I'm hoping that you can hear me. Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Good afternoon, everybody. My congrats to the Jamaica Stock Exchange and to all of the youth who have the God energy. I saw so many great answers being given in response to that question. I want to congratulate the winners as well of the competition, and really just express our thanks on behalf of Bank of Jamaica for being included in this initiative by the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and just sharing a little bit about financial inclusion so that you, the youth, who are going to really be the ones inheriting the economy, are going to be able to build and take it forward to the next level. Notwithstanding what we're going through with COVID-19, we know that you are a generation of young, adaptable, bright, intelligent minds who are really going to take us to the next level. So great, I see that the slides are up, fantastic. So let's just get into it, if I may. So of course, we have the standard disclaimer. Bank of Jamaica is very careful in terms of making sure that the views which are expressed in every presentation represent the views of the author, in this case myself, and not necessarily those of Bank of Jamaica broadly. So if I may just ask you to go to the first major slide, please. Right. Okay, so why do we have the National Financial Inclusion Strategy? I'm seeing that some of the elements of the slide may be blocked out. I'm hoping that you can see everything. Okay, fantastic. What are the major drivers for the financial inclusion strategy? The first one is distrust and low literacy rates among our population, or adults or young people or seniors. Why is that important? Because if you don't understand the financial contracts being presented to you, you don't know how to use them to benefit yourself. That's what it is, bottom line. You'll have, many of us have gone through or primary school education or secondary school education, even university, And yet, we don't know how to have a really meaningful conversation when we are dealing with a financial institution. That's what financial literacy is all about how do you shop around, how do you read the documents and understand it, and of course, how can you better negotiate on your own behalf. It also means that because we don't know how to protect ourselves, we are more vulnerable when it comes to financial vulnerability. We're talking about whether or not you're employed, whether or not you're able to have the income coming in so that you can begin the process of saving. I'm so sorry about that. So that you can begin the process of saving, you can begin the process of being able to actually invest in products and make a decisions, the right decisions for yourself in terms of your life goals about how you're going to actually achieve your own wealth generation processes. We rely heavily on cash. Now, what does that mean? Cash is fantastic, and you often hear cash is king. The problem with cash being king, though, is cash is easy to steal, yeah? So you can imagine when you come out of the bank, let me give you an example. You go into the bank, you're able to cash a check, you're coming out of that, you have somebody right there as soon as you bust the door. Miss, I can beg you something. You're walking down the road. Somebody's going to try to prips you and see when you get into the taxi car and just try to follow behind you to your house. You can be robbed. So these are the things that we would try to say to persons. Yes, cash is an important payment device, but consider other payment options that you have at your disposal, such as internet banking or online banking, such as using credit cards that allow you to trace the payments that you're doing. And also, whenever you young persons, and I'm hoping many of the teenagers are familiar with the company's office, when you start to think of new ideas, because the careers that are going to be available to you are not careers that existed in my generation. I'll give you one practical example. Being an animator was not something that my generation was told to really pursue. We got the standard lawyer, doctor, teacher, businessman, being somebody who owned physical space and sold goods. But when you're talking now about animation, being a graphic artist, being a designer, those are lucrative professions that people underestimated. There's a range of professions available to you, but you need to get access to capital so that you actually can move your business, scale up your business. By that, I mean grow your business, okay? And the young generation of people coming up, you are the ones who are going to be creating the new jobs of the future. Everything in the creative industries, you're going to really be pushing that. You're not only going to be writing the music, you're going to be the producers of the music. You're going to be the ones who are, as songwriters, are going to protect your intellectual property, and you can now then create a catalog of rights that you can use to access capital. So because we didn't have that adequate financing to our businesses, we had to push for financial inclusion. Right, so the four pillars that we really look at: financial access. How do you get access to the kind of financial products you need? How do we finance for growth? Your MSMEs, which is micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. How do we promote financing for agriculture? Or farmers are important persons. And how do we promote financing to own your home, housing? Responsible financing, which is consumer protection, and financial capability, financial literacy, and financial resilience, being able to save, being able to buy insurance products to act as a buffer or a means of protection should the unexpected arise, and saving for your retirement. So you'll often hear about this term, sustainable development goals. What does that mean? For you, what we're trying to do, my generation is trying to do for you, is build an economy that doesn't just have 1 year of growth and then peters off. We want growth that continues and is stable and continues to rise. And that's important because you need to have the foundation as the next generation that will take charge of the country. You need to have the foundation to be able to start to build those new industries, build those new job opportunities. So we're looking for sustainable development. And so financial inclusion is all about promoting quality education, and education that gives you not just book learning, not just the ability to regurgitate facts about who conquered what when, but to think critically and to be able to now apply those skills, those transferable skills, as we say, to every single situation you find yourself in, including the ability to protect yourself financially, so that regardless of whichever career you choose, whichever business you open, you have the skill sets so you can always sustain yourself and you can always protect yourself. This leads to the next purpose of an education. It's not to get a job necessarily. It's to build a human being that is strong and independent. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about decent work and education. Now, COVID-19 has hit us, and what are we facing? So many of us have relatives who have lost work or having reduced hours from work. So many of our young people, like this great conference, have to be learning at home, learning remotely, and we have to adapt. But with every crisis comes a moment of opportunity. And in COVID-19, we have an opportunity to expand digital payments. We have an opportunity to get more people included through having them open bank accounts through a new mechanism that I'm going to go into called simplified customer due diligence requirements. That is to say, you'll often hear it on Twitter and other platforms, people talking about to open a bank account, you need a reference from God or Papa Jesus. You need three persons who can vouch for your character. You need a sample of blood. All of that is not true. I am here to tell you on behalf of Bank of Jamaica that we have looked at the laws governing the Proceeds of Crime Act, and we have implemented what we call a risk-based approach, which allows the financial institutions to have more flexibility in learning about you as a customer and deciding how they're going to open accounts for you. So if I may just deep dive into what we mean by digital payments. Okay, so what are digital payments? Talking about mobile wallets that you can access using your cell phone or your tablets. We're talking about QR codes, or you can scan the codes like a barcode and be able to transact business. We're talking about prepaid cards, and we're talking, of course, about online banking. And you heard me mention simplified customer due diligence requirements. Fancy term, you'll hear CDD. What that means is the ability of the financial institutions to know you, customer identification, and customer verification. Who are you? Are you the person that you represent yourself to be? And we're also encouraging fintech innovations. You will hear the government, you will hear many people talk about STEM, science, technology, energy, and the whole element around mathematics. But what we want to let you know is translate those concepts and ideas into creating financial, technical innovations that make it easier to do business. So what have we done as Bank of Jamaica? We're really pushing for policy development. You'll have this slide deck, so I'm not going to go through in detail with all of this, but just know two very important things. Bank of Jamaica is looking at our existing legal framework regarding payment service providers to make it easier for payment service providers to do business, while at the same time encouraging innovation through our fintech regulatory sandbox. And we're also encouraging financial institutions to facilitate the opening of bank accounts for low-risk clients using the simplified customer due diligence requirements. So what happened in terms of POCA? Good news. In October 2019, last year, a year ago, the government of Jamaica actually made the changes to the laws that now make it possible for financial institutions to develop a risk profile regarding all of their customers and potential customers. Now, as young persons who are, many of you may be below the age of 18, if you seek to open an account with a guardian, a legal guardian, or your parent, what that means is that you can come into a bank, a commercial bank, for example, and your parent or your guardian himself, you sit, you meet with a customer service representative, you have a discussion. That bank would have updated its internal processes and procedures so that it accommodates people who are low risk. They may have very specific products targeted to the youth that have great attractive features, such as they may have no minimum balance requirements, so you don't get charged if the money in your account falls below a certain level. That's just an example. They may encourage you to save up to a particular threshold so that you can migrate, and they get to know you. You will use your student ID, for example, to identify yourself. As I did in my time, I opened my first account when I was 12 with a particular bank that is still very high functioning and doing well, great business. They can do that for you. Banking is, opening a banking or savings account is a first step to now becoming an investor and opening an account whereby you can, with a securities dealer, a licensed securities dealer, where you, as a young person, of course, with the guidance of your parent, of your legal guardian, can now begin to understand the stock market, can begin to understand investments. And I'm hearing such fabulous things about who is making money on top of money. It reminded me of the parable in the Bible when you gave one person one talent and they didn't do anything with it, but the one who got 5 made 10. That's a very important principle you apply to your life. You maximize your opportunities. Simplified customer due diligence requirements allows financial institutions to maximize the opportunity to open an account for you, and also gives you the chance to maximize an opportunity to save. Okay, so I'm going to just ask for you to skip forward, please. Right. Now, who are Bank of Jamaica's regulated financial institutions? Bank of Jamaica regulates commercial banks. We regulate as well the merchant banks, and we regulate the building societies. We also have limited oversight over credit unions, not full, limited. We share that with the Registrar of Cooperative Societies, okay? Those are just some financial institutions. The Financial Services Commission regulates the other side of the financial market. They regulate everyone who is engaged in the business of insurance, securities, which is investment, which you're learning about today, as well as pensions, private pensions. So these simplified CDD requirements apply to all regulated financial institutions. If I may ask for you to move forward, please. Okay, now I'm just going to ask you to pay attention to the bottom part of this screen. What does simplified CDD requirements, what does that actually mean for you? It means when the financial institution has now updated its internal processes and procedures, and they meet you, they have your identification, they assess the risk associated with you in terms of the products and the services that they're offering, as well as your own risk, they can simply require you to present one form of government issued ID, or they can accept a form of ID other than the government's issued IDs. What is a government issued ID? You already know this, but just to remind you, think of your voter's registration card for those who are 18 and up. Think of your passport. And for those of you who are lucky enough to be gifted when you're going on to other, having graduated successfully from high school, when you're going on to the next level, you're now going to talk about your driver's license, because I know that you should not be driving while you're studying and you're underage. So of course, you're mindful of that. But you can also use your student ID. You can get identification from third parties that are under similar obligations to those of the financial institutions. And the financial institutions can collect simple information from you, such as your date of birth, such as your address and your name. And in the case of a company, say you actually registered a business name already with the company's office, you can provide the date when you registered that company and the date of incorporation. The financial institution can also use publicly available information to verify your identity. Like say you're a big time celebrity already, a DJ, and you're making waves in the place. So you present yourself, you present your ID, and they say, yes, we see you every time on Entertainment Report, every week. They know who you are. These are the things. I'm, of course, just giving an example, but you know, these are some of the tools that the financial institutions could use. Publicly available information. If I may ask for you to move forward. Right, so what's a sandbox? The sandbox is innovation. The sandbox is facilitating faster and easier means of creating solutions to do business, to allow for things like electronic KYC solutions. That is to say, you'd hear some of our financial institutions boasting about the fact that you don't even have to come in anymore to open an account. That's what we call eKYC at work. Know your customer, KYC. You're going to hear that term. Remember it, okay? You also have some financial institutions that are partnering with fintech companies to deliver types of payment solutions that are more effective for you. It's all about the financial inclusion. Again, I would encourage you to read the newspapers, read the blogs, read Twitter, the posts on Twitter. You know, you're young, so you don't do Facebook like my age group. But for those of us in my age group that still use Facebook like me, we're reading Facebook. You know, we're on loop. We're getting our information digitally. We are bilingual, as I like to say. We do both print, you know, the physical, and we do the digital. But for you young people, we know you're digital natives. You are born being able to program phones. You get your information, you know what it's all about. You equip yourselves so that you know more about the companies that you want to invest in the long term, and you know how to protect yourself in the digital space. Also, the greatest advice is wisdom, because in some ways there's nothing new under the sun. Tip for you, and I'm going to translate it to Jamaican. Do not tell everybody your business. What does that mean? Do not tell people your PIN to your private bank account or your financial account. Do not disclose that. That's your private business. Guard your money like you guard your life. Keep it confidential. Keep those things confidential. Be very careful about what you do when you're online. Do not use public computers when you're engaging in your business. Use your own personal device. Be mindful of what you are doing at all times, okay? It's important because even as we evolve into a digital world, you have digital thief, cybercrime. So you have to be mindful of what's going on, all right? You have to protect yourself. Protect your money like you protect your life, even when you're in the digital space. But I encourage you, of course, if you have an idea about fintech, if you think that you can be the one to create the next great WhatsApp solution or the next great Instagram solution, whatever code you're writing on, think about how you can partner with a financial institution, because your idea may be the one to take them to the next level and to be able to get more persons dealing in the legitimate, formal, as we call it, financial system. Okay, you can find out more information on the FinTech Regulatory Sandbox. I posted a link there on that slide. So other steps we have taken, we have developed a National Financial Literacy Action Plan, and we also are imposing or creating, rather, in partnership with other public sector agencies, a comprehensive consumer protection plan or regime for financial services. If I may ask, Ray. Okay, so now what do we have to protect you as a consumer now in this space? We talk about the code of conduct. This is the Banking Services Act, Enforceable Code of Conduct. A mouthful, just call it the Code of Conduct. What is it about? It's about making sure that we identify what needs to be disclosed by a financial institution that we regulate. Remember, the commercial banks, the merchant banks, and the building societies, to you, the customers. How do you get your information? You can get your information in a variety of ways. You can still get it in paper, but you can also receive it digitally. And what types of information are you going to get? You're going to see the transaction details being shown to you. Whenever interest is posted to your account, you can find that out. You can also learn about the fees and charges. And there is to be an internal mechanism in all of the regulated, BOJ regulated financial institutions under the Banking Services Act that allows you to resolve consumer concerns you may have or a complaint that you may have. Your first line of defense, if you have any challenge, is to go to the financial institution and say, listen, I'm having a problem. Can you tell me, why am I having a difficulty adding a potential recipient to my account? Why can't I get my statement within the time you promised me? Something's happening, and they will take internal steps to resolve it. If they fail to resolve it in a timely fashion, you can report the matter to Bank of Jamaica, and we have an Office of Consumer Complaints that can help you with that. I've spoken of the FinTech Regulatory Sandbox, digital payment solutions, fintech solutions. We also require any approved participant in the FinTech Regulatory Sandbox to make sure they have consumer protection mechanisms to protect you, the consumer. Remittances, we are the ones who license remittance service providers. Whenever you want to know if someone's legit, you just come onto Bank of Jamaica's official website, and there's a list of all of the remittance service providers right there on the website. So you can find out the locations, you can verify that this person is in fact, or this business rather, is in fact authorized. We also seek to protect you by making sure the information reaches you. So we still do radio. So you can hear us on IRI FM, you can hear us on Power 106, you can hear us on Love, you can hear us on Mellow. We are in programs like Under the Law. We have a centrally speaking program. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. And back before COVID-19, we had outdoor broadcasts. We, of course, have now migrated to a digital format. So we've covered some of this already. I just want to highlight an important part of the Code of Conduct, training. All of the Bank of Jamaica regulated entities under the Banking Services Act must ensure that their staff is trained properly in terms of how do they best interface with the consumers, how do they manage complaints, keep them up to date so that you can get the resolution to any concerns you may have in a quick and timely fashion, okay? And I'm not going to go through all these details. You're going to get the slide deck later so you can see it. But just to remember that the DTIs must disclose to you in writing information on the products and the services that they're offering you. So when you're now having these discussions, you need to get that so that you can read it and understand what are the fees associated with this product? What are the charges? And if you have a question, ask your banker. They can answer the question for you. They can, give insight. Similarly, if you're dealing with a building society, okay? And remember, what are the key terms for you as a young person that you need to understand? Especially if you decide to be one of the fortunate ones who's going to go out and start a business and you need to, for example, begin the process of building up a profile of how you do payments so that you can begin building your credit profile. You need to understand what are the key contractual terms for your loan products and for your savings, what we call deposit products. We call that a key fact statement. Why is that important? Because your financial behavior shows the financial institution who you actually are in terms of your responsibility. If you take a loan, make sure you pay it on time each time. Negotiate and have an understanding of where you're going and what you can afford. It's important because as you develop your financial footprint, you'll be able to access other financial products and services. And the DTIs will have that conversation with you. They will show you how the interest rates are in fact calculated on an annual basis. So you'll get that in the key fact statement. And the financial institutions are going to avoid giving you very complex terms that you have to go be looking up or consulting a lawyer for. As far as possible, they're going to give you the contractual terms in clean, easy to understand, easy to understand language. Okay, I'm going to ask for you to skip over this slide because we've discussed some of this already. Okay, now how do you protect yourself? Please read the information. I can't emphasize this enough. So often we just hear it and we sign on the dotted line. Remember what I said, you protect your money like you protect your life, which means that you have to empower yourself. When we have gone so far with the code of conduct and other mechanisms to tell our financial institutions, please disclose this information, they are now giving you the opportunity to read it and ask questions and understand before you say, yes, I want to get this particular product. So you have to read it, make sure you understand the terms and ask questions. Shop around. You have to make sure that you don't settle for just one financial institution. Just because your mother and your grandmother and whoever else use a particular bank doesn't mean you have to stay there. You may get better rates at another bank. Competition is what financial inclusion is all about as well. And we want you to ensure that your documentation is kept up to date. So as you get older, you'll find that the financial institutions, especially with regard to poker, will periodically reach out to you and say, is your phone number still accurate? Do you still work at a particular place? Do you still have your business enterprise at a particular location? And get that kind of information. They're not trying to fasten your business. They're trying to make sure that they protect you, because if they have your current information, then they know for sure you are who you say you are, even in the digital space, okay? So it's very important that you cooperate with the financial institutions. It's all about making sure that they can protect you. These are some of the ways that Bank of Jamaica seeks to empower consumers. We really try to interface through all type of media, through our plays, through our conferences like this one, through radio programs and television like Centrally Speaking, and on social media. Now, the National Financial Literacy Action Plan, we're very excited about this because we need you as partners to make sure that this happens. So we had formed a working group, which was led by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, and Bank of Jamaica also gave support. Our members included Jamaica Stock Exchange, Ministry of Finance, FSC, the Financial Services Commission, the Consumer Affairs Commission, JDIC. It included Development Bank of Jamaica and the Planning Institute of Jamaica, okay? So in terms of just bringing it all together, this is all about empowering you with good money management skills and tools that you can use for the future. So you have the details about the goals. It's ultimately to empower you as financial capable citizens. And you can see what we want you to learn. Life cycle planning, how to better make right decisions for yourself throughout your life cycle. Buying your car, buying your home, and being able to have further education if you choose buying property, investment property. So we're targeting you, we're targeting young adults, and we're targeting children as well. So So we've covered this already. Just remember, when you're building your investment portfolio, you have to ask the right questions, learn about the product being offered, learn about the company who's offering the opportunity to invest in it, learn about how you can protect yourself in terms of the strategy you want to use, if you want to buy and sell, trade regularly, or you want to hold for a long-term horizon. And you, of course, have to protect your money. So we're going to continue with the awareness raising about key financial concepts. We're going to train directly. We're going to interface with your teachers, and we're going to reinforce what we share with you through a range of means, including sports and entertainment. You can skip this slide, please. I'm just mindful of the time. And you see, we've covered some of this already. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is leading on this effort with support from Bank of Jamaica and other financial regulators. So right now we're going to be doing a survey, and the survey is going to be targeting you, the youth. We're in partnership with the Ministry of Education. So when that survey is being administered, you may get a document online, and we will ask you to complete certain questions, answer certain questions. Don't worry about the answers. We just want to get a sense of what you already know so that we can better create financial content for you to deliver the messages about what you need to learn to empower yourselves. Of course, we're going to be doing this through your teachers and your schools, so expect that information to come to you, okay? It's very important. So that's what we mean by market research. And the bottom line is we're going to continue to bring you financial information regarding how to save, how to invest through the language of you, our young people. And we're going to have outreach happening through jingles, animation, town halls, and outdoor broadcasts, as well as our continued involvement of our brand ambassadors. So if you want more information, this is a slide which gives you links to all of our web pages. You're also on social media. We're on Twitter. You can find us at centralbankjamaica.com. We cover everything from inflation targeting to the exchange rate to how to protect yourself online. We seek to empower you as young people. So I hope you're going to take away from this conference the opportunity to learn more, not just about investment, but also learn more about how to protect yourself in the financial space. Thank you so much for having us.
Can you put your hands together for Ms. Williams? All right, thank you very much. And there are some key things, key takeaways here that you don't share information with anyone, because that's open yourself for disaster. You might get yourself in trouble. But it's very good to have financial inclusion for all Jamaicans, because we want all Jamaicans to participate in the economy. All right, we thank the BOJ for partnering with us for that presentation. And again, we thank Sagicor Investments for sponsoring the stock market game for high school. You know, I know you have been listening. Just exercise on a little bit. Put your hands together for Sagicor one more. Very good. All right. We have the Junior Achievement Stock Market Game Award. I told you the stock exchange have many different stock market game award, and we have the Junior Achievement Game Award, which is going to be presented by Ms. Charlene Steer shortly. You know, the Junior Achievement is a non-government organization that tries to prepare young people for the work world, and they have contact with over 30,000 students across Jamaica. Isn't that wonderful? Put your hands together for the Junior Achievement. That's very good. All right, Ms. Charlene Steer will announce the awardees for the Junior Achievement Stock Market.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. One of the virtues to have in life is the ability to honor others. And so as we go into phase 2 of the Junior Achievement Forum, I just wanted to let everyone know that our online winner is JJ Nathan. JJ Nathan was the first to correctly answer the question that our teenagers have what is called energy. And energy is needed, whether it's electricity, wind, air, our young people have that in abundance. Honor is due to a very unique group as well, and that's our teachers. No one makes it in life without a mentor. You may call that person a role model or a coach. But I have discerned, because I never really had someone hands-on, that if you're going to do well in life, a mentor, somebody who has been there, who knows the path, will take you, hold your hand, whether directly or indirectly, or influence your mind for you to make it. And so as we announce the winners for the Junior Achievement Stock Market Competition, we want to recognize the teachers who give of their time voluntarily to help those students who are eager, energized, and keen to learn as much as they can learn at this stage of their lives. And the top 3 teachers are Miss Loretta Roberts of Vauxhall High School, Mrs. Monica Brown, Magotty High School, Mrs. Jacqueline Brown, also of Magotty High School. Would you give them a round of applause? Well done to Ms. Brown, to Ms. Brown and Ms. Roberts. Thank you very much. But we have in our midst a very important person. You always need a leader as well, somebody who oversees and makes sure all those goals and targets are met. And with us in presence, we have Ms. Simone Towson. She's the program manager of the Junior Achievement, Jamaica Junior Achievement Game. And so we invite her now to collect the awards on behalf of teachers who have dedicated themselves to helping others to achieve well. We ask our general manager to come forward and to make those presentations on behalf of Miss Loretta Roberts of Vauxhall, Mrs. Monica Brown of Magotty High School, and Mrs. Jacqueline Brown of Magotty High School. We invite Simone Towson to come forward. So another round of applause for the hardworking teachers. Well, let's first let us thank Mrs. Simone Towson for her time, for actually coming physically here. And now, a reminder of the hardworking teachers, our mentors and coach, who work with children and students to make sure that they will excel are Miss Loretta Roberts, thank you so much. Mrs. Monica Brown, thank you. And Mrs. Jacqueline Brown, both of Magotty High School. Thank you. The Word of God says, money answers all questions. And I need to say that because many of us have ambivalent relationship with money. We're embarrassed to talk about it. We're embarrassed. But money has its place. It's a good thing, and we need it to do well. It doesn't matter how bright you are or what career path you have. If you don't know how to handle money, you might end up failing at times when you should not. And so we want to focus on the actual persons who got into the trenches and made money in these schools as part of business organizations. We are announcing the top 5 winners of the Junior Achievement Stock Market Competition, and they will all receive each $50,000 to invest in now, not virtual money. Each company will receive $50,000 among their recognition. And in ascending order, we start from the 5th position. We have Magotty, JAJ, Magotty Organic Steppers. Let's give it up for the Organic Steppers. And they did well. They almost doubled their 100,000. They made $183,000, $292. Third position, we have Vauxhall Essential Products and More. Give it up for Essential Products. They also made $83,000, $442,000 on top of their 100,000 virtual cash. Next, again from Magotty, well done Magotty, Magotty HKS. They made $195,409 in their portfolio, third position. And next, number 2 is Jace Boutique. I hope I got that correct, or Boutique Creation. They went up to $249,328. So just to remind of the first 4 persons in ascending order to the winner to be announced are from Magotty Organic Steppers. They made an additional $83,292,000. Essential Steppers, they made $83,442. Magotty HKS, they made $95,409. And Boutique Creation, they made $149,000 on top of their 100,000. And a far outpaced winner, Creation, they made $715,000, sorry.
All right, sorry about that. So we have Purpose Jeweler Creation. They made $284.33. Put your hands together for them. Wow, that's a lot of money. That's $615,284.33 different. Isn't that wonderful? All right. So there we have the winners, the top 5 winners for the Junior Achievement Stock Market Game Competition. Are we going to be handing out the prizes, or we? All right. Yes, you have to come back again, Madame, to receive those prizes. All right. For we're just going to be asking for you to just hand back over the teachers' prizes for us, please. Can you come forward for me, Miss Kelly? And all right, thank you very much. All right, we're moving on to our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is Ms. Shelley Ann Morgan, Manager, Investment Client Service, Surgical Investments Limited, and she will be speaking on the topic, preparing to be the next young investment mogul. Can you believe it? We want the next very, very rich person in Jamaica among the young people. Put your hands together for Ms. Morgan as she make her way to the lectern.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to share and in some instance remind someone in the audience, whether virtual or here, how you can go about becoming the next investment mogul. And to do that, I am going to ask someone to share with us, someone who is regarded as one of the greatest all-time NBA player, to tell us how is it that he became a mogul. This person needs no introduction. And before I finish, I'm sure you will know, he is an 18-time All-Star, 15-time member of the All-NBA team. Have you guessed who he is as yet? He is a 12-time member of the All-Time Defensive Team. He is a 2008 MVP. As a rookie, he earned a reputation as a high flyer. Let us hear from him. On screen? Okay.
You really want me on the team. What's your approach to recruitment?
You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else. Like I would watch Magic play. I'd watch Michael play. And I would see them do these unbelievable things, and I'd say, you know, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out.
That's why he's the best player in the game.
Everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
So because you know what you want, the world's giving you exactly the information you need to become better at it.
Because you know what you're looking for.
So many guys tell stories about your work ethic.
Yeah.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. I mean, since 20 years. I mean, it was an everyday process, and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Man, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast. Right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed. It's a good separation for me, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm, emotions. I can't.
You really want me on the team. What's your approach to recruiting?
You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else. Like I would watch Magic play. I'd watch Michael play. And I would see them do these unbelievable things, and I'd say, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out.
That's why he's the best player in the game.
Everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
So because you know what you want, the world's giving you exactly the information you need to become better at it.
Because you know what you're looking for.
So many guys tell stories about your work ethic.
Yeah.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. Since 20 years. It was an everyday process, and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Man, my vertical was a 40. It wasn't a 46 or 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast. Right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed. It's a good separation for me, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time, right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You got to put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me, don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.
How did you get mentally and emotionally so strong where it doesn't bother you?
Well, you got to look at the reality of the situation. Like for me, it's not, you kind of got to get over yourself. Like, it's not about you, man. Like, okay, you feel embarrassed. You're not that important. Like, get over yourself.
That's where you go.
Get over yourself, right? Like you're worried about how people may perceive you, and like you're walking around and it's embarrassing because you shot 5 air balls. Get over yourself, right? And then after that, it's okay, well, why did those air balls happen? Got it. High school, year before, we played 35 games, max, right? Week in between, spaced out, plenty of time to rest. In the NBA, it's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I didn't have the legs. So you look at the shot, every shot was online. Every shot was online, but every shot was short. Right? I got to get stronger. I got to train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I got to tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale and say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. That was it.
Done. Were there some names that you looked at and says, these 3 guys are as crazy as I am?
At the time, I deal with what I've referred to as Goat Mountain. I went to Goat Mountain and I talked to Magic, Michael, Bird, Keem Olajuwon, Jerry West, Oscar Robinson, Bill Russell. So I would talk to them. What did you do? What were your experiences? Michael in particular, he's become my big brother. He's been my big brother since I first came in the league. And what was that process like? So I went to them and started understanding the ins and outs of the game and how they approach things and their level of detail and obsessiveness, and that's what I did. The players that had that passion, but weren't willing to commit their entire lives to doing that, right? It's a choice, right? You have other things, you have family, you have all these other things that you have to do. The game can't really be your number one priority. And so I was just looking at that like, man, this is gonna be fun.
If I'm buddies with you from high school, if I'm a cousin of yours, what happened to our relationship? How did that gravitate when you went into the league and you're determined to become the greatest, or you're determined to become one of the greatest? What happens to our relationship?
Well, it suffers.
It does suffer.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you understood that. You were okay with that.
Well, yeah. And the people that love you, like friends and family, like they know that about you.
Got it.
So they let you be you. And when you reconvene, you pick back up where you left off. But make no mistake about it, everything in between is lost, right? So those long-term relationships, the commitment of time, of taking vacation. Like I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends, and they'll just take vacations just to take vacations, or just hang out just to hang out. Like I never did that.
Why not though? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that. You know, I don't want that. You know, you got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform. Perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit. Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore, we got to play Vince Carter and Toronto Raptors tonight. We actually had this happen. We had a game against Toronto in 2000, and Vince was tearing the league up. My back was jacked. But like the perception of that, like what? Kobe's missing the game against Toronto and Vince Carter because man, my back was really spasming. But people will be like, what? Oh, he's ducking Vince. Excuse me? No, I don't think so. So I would be in a layup a lot of days where you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. Your back can bother you any other day. That shit ain't bothering me today. He gonna have to see me today. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a big investments you got to make, what is the decision-making process there? Do you call? Is there first you do your own research? You take this much time. You call an advisor. Is there a system you follow?
It's pretty simple for me. It's do you understand the business? Is it a business that you can help in some form or fashion? What are the barriers of entry to that business? And then the entrepreneurs themselves, the company itself, right? Do they have a culture that you believe is sustainable? Are these leaders people that you believe in? Are they people that are obsessives? And in turn, have they created a culture of obsessiveness? So I tend to look at those 4 factors, and that's it.
That's big right there, by the way. I don't know if you guys caught that right there. That's pretty massive right there. Same determination. What's your current work schedule look like today?
It's different because I personally am not writing every word of the novels. I am not animating the films. What I have to do now is make sure that the people that we bring in, these obsessives that we bring in, are challenging themselves to do the best job that they think they can do. That's what I'm there for, is for them to constantly look in the mirror and self-assess and challenge themselves. If we have a project and you're saying, okay, I can do that, like we want. The projects that say, I don't know if I can animate that. I don't know how to write that story. I don't know how to do that. Those are the things we want, because through that curiosity, you'll reach a level that you didn't think was possible. And so running the studio, that's what I'm doing.
You're playing against the Golden State Warriors. Score is 107-109. You guys are close to getting into the playoffs. You know exactly what happens in the game. You go up, you're about to take your shot, and then all of a sudden...
The term might be unfamiliar to some people, but...
Boom.
We all know who they are. We just heard of them just now. You may know someone who is a mogul. These persons are visionaries. They are self-confident. They are ambitious. They are mavericks. So Warren Buffett. Thank you. So Warren Buffett, he's one of the most successful investors of all time. He is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway owns companies. So Geico, Duracell, a battery making company, Dairy Queen, it's a restaurant chain. It is said that he first bought stocks as a teenager, at age 11, they say, and filed taxes at age 13. And that is possible for everyone here. Bill Gates, another mogul, a software developer by trade, co-founder of Microsoft, an investment mogul. Jeff Bezos, we know these names, CEO and founder of Amazon. Mark Zuckerberg, co-founder and CEO of Facebook. He started Facebook at age 18. Who are all these men? How are they different from us? How are they different from you? What do they have in common as a group and with you? They are all influential persons in their fields or industry. They are all moguls. We just heard from Kobe Bryant. As a rookie, he earned a reputation as a high flyer. Moguls are not born with it. They work at it. They recognize something in themselves. They want more. They're hungry. They're not satisfied with what they came and they would have seen. They want to change things. How to become a young investment mogul? Are you visionary? Are you courageous? Are you self-confident? If you're not, then you need to be. Are you open-minded? Because moguls, they're open-minded. Are you questioning? Are you the creative type? What about your passion? How does it rate on a scale of 1 to 10? Where do you fall? Because to be a young investment mogul, then you need to have that passion. You need to be passionate about something. So like I said earlier, the term might be new, but we all know who they are. We all know what they do. They're ambitious. And if you want to join them, if you want to join Kobe, Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg, these persons are very similar to us. They're 11, 19s, they're 20s. Use some of those traits. You need to be persistent. Normal persons are persistent for the wrong things. Let's be persistent for the right thing. Be reminded that to become a mogul, it will take some time for you to perfect that art, for you to grow from your experience and your skills. So all I'm saying is success takes time. On the screen, you should be seeing Starbucks didn't reach store number 5 until 13 years into history. Starbucks is an international brand in so many countries across the world. And they are constantly innovating and reinventing themselves. Sam Walton from Walmart, he didn't open his second store until 7 years after starting his company. And we should be familiar with the brand of Walmart. Success takes time. To become a young investment mogul will take time. But if you are committed, if you are visionary, if you are courageous, you will get there. If you seek mentors, that will help you. If you try and you try and you try again, that will help you. Some persons might say, what if I fail? But I say, what if you fly? What if you succeed? There's this quote that I love that says, if your dream doesn't scare you enough, then it's not a big dream. You need a bigger dream. I can't recall who said it, but your dreams should scare you. You need to be courageous if you want to become an investment mogul. If you want to start now and become that young investment mogul. And the fact that you are here means that you're well on your way. So analyze yourself. Get to know yourself some more. Identify your strengths. Identify your weaknesses and then work on them. You need to be mentally strong. You can't be easily afraid. You can't be easily embarrassed either. You can't be afraid of the word no. See you later, or try me again next week, or you're not ready next year, or next week. You need to be mentally strong. You can't be afraid of the competition. Listen, great industries are never made from a single company. There is room for a lot more young investment moguls. Be a maverick. Be so focused that you'll discover what makes you different, what makes you stand out and apart from the crowd, from the rest of your peers. Then you'll be able to hone those skills and attract all your good, all your successes to you. Kobe said it about the sacrifices. Be prepared to make some sacrifices. Winners always have to sacrifice. When I listen to all the persons who would have shared how they were the top achiever, and we have winners here today, how did you do it? Didn't you make sacrifices? And the more you want, the bigger your dreams, the scarier your dreams, the bigger the sacrifices that you would have to make. Be prepared to show up. Be prepared to set an example through the life that you live. Be doing your research. You have to know about that industry. You have to know about where you want to go and how to get there. So don't worry about people's opinion too much. You have to adjust your approach. You would have to be changing, adapting different things, adapting to your environment. We spoke about mentors. One of the speakers earlier spoke about mentors, about a coach. They applauded the teachers. You have mentors all around you, all around you. People who are already experts in their fields. People who are already moguls. And these persons will be able to help you with your approach. They'll be able to share their experiences, will share with you some of their failures, but they never stopped, and that's why they are moguls. So again, you being here today, whether in front of me or virtually, you are already writing your success story. You are already on the ladder heading towards becoming the next investment mogul. Good luck on your journey. Thank you.
I think we can do better, a little bit better than that. Shelley, that was a wonderful video and a wonderful. There are some takeaway that we we have to bear in mind. And one of the, Mrs. Street Forest always said, failure is not an option. So if you fail today, you have to try and try again until you succeed. So just try to remember that failure is not an option. And you want to do what you're doing and to become successful at it. Others have done it already. So, and as Shelley was saying, you have to be different. Know your strengths and your weaknesses. Know what you have to have a passion for what you're doing, and you'll be able to do it to the best of your ability. We have Warren Buffett and all of those. Just talk about SANDBOX and when they had their second outlet and so on. It takes time. What she was saying, all of these things takes time. But if you take the time and have the patience, you'll be able to do it. All right, we're moving right along on what you have been waiting for. We have had 2 presentations so far. We had the junior achievement presentation. We had the teenage stock market game, and now we're going to be having the stock market game for high school, which is sponsored by Sagicor Investments Limited. All right. I'm going to be announcing the winners. I'm going to be starting with the teacher's game. The teacher's game. We also have a game for the teachers that are training the students at the same time. And we also have the teachers, prizes for the teachers who have assisted those students who have done very well. All right, for the teachers game, the 3rd place winner comes from Hampton High that had a portfolio of $106,742.87. Put your hand together for Hampton High. All right, the 2nd place was Manchester High, which had a portfolio of $129,854.72. And the 1st place winner, can I have a drum roll? Jamaica College, trained by Mr. Oliver Iron, with a portfolio of $621,469.90. For Mr. Irons, we have a prize for you. Yeah, got it. All right, and now we're going to look at the top institution, the winners for the top schools. And in 1st place, we have, I won't go 1st place first. I caught it there. So we're going to be doing our 3rd place winner. 3rd place winner is Arden High School. Arden High School. And they had a $529,640.29. And can you believe it? It's part of it happened during the time when COVID came around. So there, if you really decide to invest in the market, things can happen. And then the second place is Manchester High School. A combined portfolio of $701,958.69. Put your hands together for Manchester High School. All right, and in first place we have, can I have a drum roll? All right, thank you very much. Jamaica College. A combined portfolio of $1,765,508. Wow, that's a lot of money. $765,508. Put your hands together for Jamaica College. All right, clap yourself, clap yourself. All right, who's coming to receive your, the prize? Everybody coming up? All right, I just want one representative. Hey. Wow, that's a huge portfolio. All right, we're going to be having the first place winners again in terms of individual winners. And in third place, we have Malika Thompson. Malik Thomas, Jamaica College, with a portfolio of $388,406.83. Malik Thomas, can you make your way up here, please? All right, the second place winner is Casey Miller, Jamaica College. He has had a portfolio of $425,000.69. I saw why you had so many Jamaica College person here. All right, can I have a drum roll for the first? And the first place winner is Javon Stevenson, Jamaica College, with a portfolio of $565,772.64. Put your hands together for him, please. Those that are watching online, I mean, can you give a wave? Jamaica College. Wow. So Jamaica College have walked away with first, second, and third for this year. All the other schools have to do something for the and also the fourth place also. Again, I'm hearing again. Wow, like last year. Come out of schools, we have to really do something. because we can't allow Jamaica College to be walking away with all these prizes. I'm calling out my school monroe. We have to do something to ensure that we can be able to make a college. Now, we're going to call Javon again to accept his certificate. Oh, this is Javon. Javoni. Javoni, all right, Javoni. And the teacher for the top high school, he's going to receive a prize for his coaching ability. And that's Mr. Oliver Irons. Put your hands together for him again.
Sorry. Let's read what it says.
They have instructed me to read what it says, Mr. Irons. So I'm just reading what it says. It said for outstanding contribution and performance. At the stock market game for high schools, top 2019-2020 for outstanding contribution. Mr. Irons, very well done. You may take a bow. Yeah, come up. Come here. All right, this year Jamaica College have walked away with everything. Have walked away with everything. But we're launching the 2020-2021 game. And I'm going to be asking Ms. Charlotte Nugent, our communications officer, because I'm expecting that other schools are going to be vying for the prize this next year, and that Jamaica College won't be taking away all the prizes. But just before Ms. Nugent come along, we're gonna have a response from Jamaica College and what they have been doing for them to become the top school. They'll just give us a few of the hints, just for a minute or two. And then Ms. Nugent will launch the 2020-2021 games for us. All right. Jamaica College, can you come forward to just tell us what you have been doing and why you are able for the second year in a row to do so well? Mr. Irons?
First and foremost, I'm not a very good speaker, so I'm going to ask you to bear with me. Good afternoon to everyone joining us on Zoom, and around the world, to all the sponsors and all the officials, cameramen, everybody present. We thank you for being here with us. First, I want to start after saying that David came up to collect the trophy. David and I were always talking about investment. From an early age, David wanted to be investors. In his first year at JC, sorry. Okay. In his first year at JC, David and I started JC first top team in an effort to get more teachers and students to start investing. Although this is, sorry, strong, we were the leader for the first term. Several errors arose, which cost us a game that year. Despite this missed opportunity to win on our first debut, some of our students ended up starting to invest before finishing school. These same persons returned to Jamaica this year to find several dividends checked and extra stock. These were the youngsters who started investing at a very early age, leave school, and they came out this year to realize that they were enjoying dividends and stock, which David and myself had started them out with. Start investing to everyone. I reached out to David, a JC old boy, and a successful young investor to come back and help me to train that. When he arrived, he pointed out that everyone had fallen back and they bought minuscule amount of given stock while they had a risk-free amount to invest. Our first order of business was to clear everyone's account and teach them from the ground up. This meant explain how stock work, the need to use a spreadsheet before each trade, and the need for patience to realize maximum opportunity. By the end of that year, the students were near the bottom, come out of the top for JC taking home the first title in both the student and the teacher game. Following the first term victory, we returned the following year to guide the new team. The initial rule then, and even now, was to always work as a team. First, before branching off to play against each other. No one remembered the individual winners, but only the school who had their name engraved on the trophy at the award ceremony. At the end of the year 2019, the team was large and in the top 4 together. When 2020 began, the aim was to maintain that lead and see who could beat the other in a dash to finish. However, 2 events came along, which gave us a near 2 months hiatus from the market. The first was the Trans-Jamaica Highway IPO, which increased volatility and diminished marginal return over the month of February. The second event was COVID-19, gradually arrived the West. As the market collapsed under the weight of heightened fears and uncertainty, the team focused on completing their SBA and IA, while the stock market took time to find its place. As the market started to partially stabilize in April, there was some level of trading again as the heightened volatility and several derailed the team mission. Let me just correct that. Apart from the volatility, there were other things that caused us to derail the team, almost derail the team at that point in time. On April 30th, the market finally closed. We concluded the second chapter of another successful year. We're living in a world which has become much easier to start investing today than it was for our forefathers centuries ago. Our borders and easy access to start investing an opportunity in the digital age, which was never possible before than decades ago, without being traveled to physical country to sign documents and sign accounts. Our parents never had this kind of access to stabilize and budding market. Our parents would have included me because I'm on the older age. These younger persons now are able to invest all over the world because in my age, I have to travel to go abroad to sign an account. As we reflect on the past and the present, let us look back at some facts. Jamaica underwent a nasty crash in 1993, which contributed to the ensuing liquidity and solvency crisis that eventually culminated in a FinStack intervention that shrunk our financial sector and killed more than 40,000 businesses. We, at one point, had only 3 weeks of import and service in our net international reserve, with Jamaica expected to fail around 2012, or 50 years of independence. Jamaica has seen the greatest test to date in the current COVID-19 crisis. However, along those pivotal points in our history, there was some critical event that also happened. Life of Jamaica, which was founded by Danny Williams, Jamaica College old boy, evolved from 2.9 billion loss in 1999 to a 14.3 billion profitable regional grant giant in the insurance sector. Christopher, that's Chris Williams, Jamaica College old boy, founded Proven in 2009 with an initial private placement of $20 million US, which has evolved in a PE firm which assets around $600 million US. Junior Market was born in 2009, which saw a reversal of decades of tax inequity and promoting debt becoming a thing of the past. We're in a new paradigm in Jamaica, where new businesses are being born daily and hundreds of persons utilize financial security and their skill to create new livelihoods for them. Jamaica inducted its youngest senator in the form of Gabriel Morris. Several persons become millionaires from the Wigton IPO in April 2019. We're faced crisis after crisis in Jamaica, and this is no different. Now is the time for transforming our minds and the ways in which we do business. We can do so much more because of COVID-19 pushes to force a greater adaptation of technology solution. You can now work from anywhere in the world and do it all from your computer and the comfort of your home. The nimble server and wealthy accumulators are sizing the day right now. Don't look down on security guards, nurses, farmers, and construction workers. The richest people aren't those with a flashy tool you can see, but those who knew how to manage their money and accumulate it slowly over time by investment. Start working with your team and encourage others to invest. Check out tomorrow Jamaica Observer and Jamaica Gleaner for the business section of the paper. I now close by saying that I could not have won this game without my boys, Kit, Stevenson, Malik, Johnson, and most of all, David. Thank you all and stay safe during the unknown crisis time. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols observed. Let me just say commendation to Jamaica College for a well-deserved win or winners. And I'm throwing out a challenge to all the schools for this competition, the new competition that we're about to start for 2020-2021. And JC might not like it, but guess what? We can't have them getting first, second, third, fourth. So we need persons, yes, to give JC some competition, right? So persons who are planning to enter for next year, we start the new competition October 30th, and it will end April 30th. And we're expecting a lot of schools, first-time schools, repeaters, persons who normally participate in the competition. We want all those persons to participate in the stock market game. It's a good learning experience, and it really helps to increase your financial literacy. We will be sending the certificates to all the participants in the game, 2019-2020. So we will mail in those to your schools, and you can pick those up. So we want to say thanks to all the persons who participated in the outgoing game, and we want to officially launch the new game for 2020-2021, and that starts October 31st. So all the information will be emailed to the various schools, the registration forms, and the rules of the game, so everybody is aware of what happens with regards to the high school game. And we'll also be launching simultaneously with the school game, the teachers game. So we're also inviting the teachers participate in the game, and we want to give Mr. Arns a run for his money, right? Right? So I'm saying all the teachers, we're inviting you to participate in the stock market game for teachers and also in the game for the high school. I want to especially thank Sagicor for coming on board with us another year. They have been faithful partners, and we thank you for encouraging young minds to really, as I say, to gain financial literacy. So thanks again to the new game. Looking forward to everyone to enter. And you'll be seeing those emails. Call me, call the stock exchange, and we'll give you further information if you need further information. Thanks again.
All right, and what is left for me to say is to say thank you to everyone that came this afternoon, that are online on our platform on social media. We thank you for participating this afternoon. Thanks to our guest speaker for a wonderful presentation, and all the presenters that presented today. Thanks for Jamaica College. You took it home another year. And I would like also to say thanks to our sponsors that have sponsored us for this youth forum and for the National Investor Education Week. The investments, Bank of Jamaica, Financial Services Commission, Jamaica Depository Insurance Corporation, Sagicor Investment, Credit Union Fund Managers, Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. And to you all, thank you very much for attending this afternoon's function. Thanks to our videographers, to Affinity, that was. And we like to say on behalf of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, our Managing Director, a big thank you and have a pleasant afternoon. God bless you. Go in peace.